Alright guys, welcome to our unique devotion for the day. Okay, so I mentioned last time about maybe trying to do something a little different with a slightly different video series, adding into unique devotion, and it's been on my mind to try to find a way to encourage us to go deeper, to build into what we're reading and where it comes from, like where it's going. That means the etymology. So etymology is the history of a word. It's looking at the definition of words and taking them into a deeper meaning, a deeper context. So the only way for us to really get deeper into the Bible is to either go deeper into the history, which is very easy for us to find every time we go through commentary. Every time we do one of these videos, we're always kind of delving into the history a little bit, into that context, and asking ourselves some questions to think about. But sometimes the words that are being used we use all the time, but they're slightly misconstrued. We don't necessarily completely grasp what's being done, what's being said. We don't really grasp the depth. Because of that, we're kind of bringing ourselves short on the power that it has in our life. So I'm gonna call this the Word Power series. I have a list of words as they come to mind as I read them. I've been making those lists, so from time to time I'm gonna make one of these videos in this series, create a new playlist, and give you some hopefully links in description for where to find what I found, places you can go to go and take it a little deeper if you wish. Just listen to this video as I work through it. So that's sort of the gist, and here we're gonna get started. I think there were so many words. I really didn't know which one to pick, like one more important than the other. They weren't. At the top of the list was love, and I have done a video on that. It's called Love Special Edition, which I did. I may actually take that a little bit deeper than that video, so if you watch that, might go deeper later on, but I thought I kind of already did that, so let's go to the next word on the list. That word was sin. So just enjoy the background here, and I'm going to go over some of this word and just sort of take this to a different level. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys. So sin today versus before. Think about what sin is to you. Right now, I've already said that word. You kind of already have a thought process, what you think it is, what you've been taught, what you've read, what you've been shown as you've read through different scriptures, from the Bible to the Quran, from any kind of literature. As you've read what you think then sin is, you've taken that thought process and you've put it onto that picture and created what you think is going on in your mind. And I almost guarantee you that you're correct, but let's go a little deeper. So, sin is an immoral act considered to be a transgression against divine law. The synonym is immoral act, a wrong or a wrongdoing. Okay, now you kind of think in that process. An immoral act considered to be a transgression against divine law. So, let's bear with me here. Remove against divine law for just a moment, because this will start to make more sense. If you take the words of that definition and we look at the definitions of those words, you will get a deeper meaning of what's going on here, okay? The word an, is a determiner. It determines what the next word means. The next word is immoral. So immoral is it is something. It is determined to be something. Immoral is not conforming to accepted standards of morality, right versus wrong. Okay? The word act, an immoral act, take action or do something. It's also a noun, a thing done or a deed. Okay? So an immoral act, considered. Think carefully about something. Think about and be drawn forward, be drawn into. Okay? An immoral act, considered to. The word to, T-O, is expressing motion in the direction of. It's approaching or reaching. Just a little bit more than just a simple filler word there. So an immoral act considered to be, exist, occur, or take place. The next word is a, just the letter A, used when referring to someone or something. Okay? Just taking a little deeper here. An immoral act considered to be a what? To be a transgression. Now, what is a transgression? It's an act that goes against a law, rule, or code of conduct. It's an offense. So now you see why I kind of took away against divine law, which is the end of that definition, because it points that out in the transgression. They sort of overextended the definition just slightly. That is in today's terms. So it's a determined, not conforming to accepting standard of morality action that is expressing motion. It exists, referring to someone or something as an act that goes against a law, rule, code of conduct, an offense. I just took that sin, one word, looked at the definition as multiple words, and then pulled all of those definitions together to make something bigger. Now, if that overwhelmed you just a little bit, like it did me the first time, just rewind a little bit and re-listen to that again. So, sin, an immoral act considered to be a transgression. Okay, so now you go a little bit deeper. There are other religions. There's an etymology of the word from where it came from. It kind of comes from some Latin. There's some Greek usage there. There's Hebrew usage. There's different religions that use it. There's the Baha'i religion, Buddhism, Christianity. There is it's all over Christianity, like the biggest. Sin comes up everywhere, is being pointed out. Hinduism, Islam talks about sins, Jainism. There's a Mesopotamian tradition, which is somewhat older, sort of exists in small. There's Shinto religion. There's many religions. Just about every religion has some form of fashion pointing out sin. Okay? Now, that's sort of what's happening today. We moved into a little bit of the history, meaning there's an etymology from where it comes from and the different religions that have been around and how it's kind of pulling in. But what is the original thought process? Now, this is going to maybe blow your mind just a little bit. The original thinking of the word sin in the Hebrew means moral failure. It's also the Greek word. So the Hebrew word is hata, started with a K-H-A-T-A, and there is a Greek word, hamartia, which both mean to fail or miss the goal. So we've extended the word sin to be used as an immoral act considered to be a transgression, but its original meaning and its original context, along with that thought process, really is moral failure and a failure to miss the goal. to meet, or missing the goal, a failure to meet the goal. So when you're reading about the sins of the flesh, it's the failure of being good to the flesh. Sinning against God is a failure to do right toward God. On the flip side, when you fail at something, when you feel like you've done something wrong in life, it is a sin. It is a sin in the sense that it is become a failure. But if you can see beyond the failure, if you can see the learning curve that is happening, if you can grow from it, now there is no failure, because in the end you win understanding, and you gain wisdom, and you move beyond it. Now it's not a failure, it becomes a success. That seemingly sin and failure becomes a success. Now it's overcome. Jesus died for our sins. He died to overcome our own failures. The ultimate sin is death. The ultimate failure is death. He proves overcoming the ultimate, the one thing that we can't even do, to show that every failure can be overcome. Now, I encourage you wholeheartedly, as you're reading the Bible in your own time, as you're reading other books, other religious books, other backgrounds, and you're looking at that word sin, and you're looking at that immoral act considered to be a transgression, that you also think of the failure. And think of the failures that you've had in your life, and know that they can be overcome by looking forward at the possibilities, learning from that, and if you can learn from it and move on, now it's a success. There is no failure. You've overcome it, which is Jesus in your life, accepting what he's done on the cross, accepting him taking on the failures of your life and helping you through them to turn them into successes. I'm coming in close. My friends, that every time I read the Bible now and I see sin, that whole picture changes. That whole picture changes. Every time I'm thinking of all the things that I could have done better in my life, and I've always viewed them as failures, or every time that I try something new, I always don't get it right the first time. I always don't get it right the first time. But it's not a failure or a sin, because I can overcome that. If I look forward and learn from it, now it is a success, because now I've successfully understood what not to do. So now you can see in your own life that those sins that you've maybe made, and those mistakes that you've caused, the hurts that you've caused other people, the problems, the messiness of your life, aren't just the sin overwhelming you and destroying you. They are simple little failures that someone has already died for you to overcome them, and is pointing you towards you can overcome them too and turn them into successes. Okay? I really hope this first video in this word power series kind of blows your mind a little bit, just going a little bit deeper into the definition here, going deeper into that etymology of what the words came from and what they are, and being able to look with a fresh pair of eyes, a fresh hearing with a fresh pair of ears, maybe even speaking these words with a fresh tongue from your soul. Soul is going to be a word in this list. I hope this really helps. It's a lot to take in. It's really a lot to take in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to encourage you to rewatch this video. I'm also going to put a video down in the description below it's a a group called the Bible Project. They're also here on YouTube. I'm going to put that link in that takes you to how they describe sin and what I just described to you as the failure. I found that that was the best one. I've watched a bunch, I've read a bunch of different articles, and I found that they did such a good job of portraying it that I want you to go and watch that now. And you're just going deeper, you're adding more into this definition of this one word. So it can't help then but transform your life in a very positive way. So please like this, please subscribe if you have not already. We're going to do more videos like this. I also do videos just reading through the Bible and growing in that way, asking ourselves, myself and you guys, questions at the end to sort of get us to think a little bit about what's going on in our life, and that messiness, in that beautiful life that we've been given. Please leave comments. What do you guys think? I love the perspective. I know others love the perspective. And what you think is important. So if you're thinking something, don't just think nobody cares, because I care. So put it in the description, in the comments down below, and then share this on all your social media. Get your friends involved in this. Let's all talk about this word and the other words to come and the other scriptures, and keep building this community. Also, there's playlists of music. You can go check those out. And yeah, I know that God is always giving you the blessings you deserve, and even more so, all of the blessings that you probably don't deserve. Until next time, peace. I love you guys.